Higher Admin and IT Theory Technique. How to approach a high marking theory answer. This question is going to be discuss benefits of teamwork to both employer and employee, and is a 6-mark question. Normally, both sides of the argument are needed for discuss answers, but this question only asks about benefits of teamwork, so no negatives are needed or wanted in this answer. In fact, it would be wrong to discuss negatives in this answer because it would muddle your answers and it would take away from the impact of what you're trying to say about benefits. Always plan a discuss answer. In fact, plan any high marking answer for discuss, explain, describe, whether it's 4 marks, 5 marks or 6 marks. I would always plan it in advance. Then your answer will flow because you'll have done the sort of pathway in your mind for where the answers are coming from. For this particular question, discuss benefits of teamwork for 6 marks, I have thought of 3 different answers that I could give. I've not thought of 6 separate answers, I've only thought of 3, and I intend to develop these marks to get extra marks up to the 6. I could have given 2 answers and then needed 4 development marks. I could have given 3, which I'm going to do, 3 answers plus 3 developments. I could give 4 answers and then have 2 developments, 5 answers and 1 development, and then 6 answers with no developments. However, it would be crazy to attempt 6 full-blown brand new answers because you've got to work so much harder for that than you would if it was just simply the development marks from an original answer. So for each of my planned 3 answers, I must try to look at the answer from the employer and the employee point of view for their benefits, and I want to take these separately. It would be completely wrong to say a benefit to both employer and employee is no. That would be completely wrong. It would be muddled, confused, and you're not going to be able to get effective marks there. So if I've got something to say about the employer, I'm going to give my answer for that. And then if I've got something extra about employee, I'll start a brand new line, brand new answer for a brand new 1 mark, and talk about employee separately. And thereafter, I'll do that for the full 6 marks. So every time I'm going to introduce one of my new answers, remember I've thought up 3 answers, I need a full-blown describe answer in length. And describe type length of answer being an outline plus an additional comment, which we'll come to again shortly. So this is what my scribbled down plan might look like in my margin, in my question paper, but even better if you could just do it in your answer booklet. That's what I would be doing. I would be taking my answer booklet before I attempt to fully write up my answer, and I would jot down a quick plan. So here's a quick plan that I might scribble down. Say after I'm finished with it and I've written up my answer, I can just put a line through it quite easily and ignore the whole thing thereafter, and so will the marker. So for my 3 planned answers, here they are. I've thought up about mentioning about increased productivity. My next answer is going to be that there are better ideas generated. And my 3rd answer is going to be that staff will share skills with each other when they work together in teams. That's obviously as much as I would need to do just to get the thought process in place. However, I need to now consider who benefits, because it's a discuss answer, we need to make sure it's from the staff and the management point of view. So for productivity, I do know that if productivity increases, that can make profits increase, and obviously that means business will benefit. Now, because this is my brand new introduced answer, I've not mentioned it before in the answer, and because it's been introduced for the very first time, I need to write a full-blown describe answer for this. Describe up high, reminder that describe is an outline plus an additional comment, and obviously an outline is more than naming. So thereafter, if I've got anything else that I can think of to say about productivity, I simply need a little development mark for that. And I can think of something extra, which is that staff working together in teams are more likely to hit their targets, so they can get bonuses. So I've mentioned in my plan bonus and the fact that it's the staff that are going to benefit for that. And because I've already introduced my whole productivity answer with a full-blown describe answer, here's my additional thing that I want to say, which is my development point. So when I'm mentioning about staff hitting targets because they work together to get the job done together and they're hitting the bonuses, all I need to do is give an outline in length. Can I just show you up high that an outline is more than naming? Now, my next answer is going to be a newly introduced topic or answer, which is going to be the fact that better ideas are generated when staff work in teams. So the first thing I want to say is that staff are more likely to take risks in making suggestions when they're working in a team, in the security of a team, then they would be more likely to do that than they would if they were working on their own. They'd be a bit more shy and a bit less confident. So because I'm mentioning this answer for the very, very first time, I need to make this whole thing a full-blown describe answer. Up high, a reminder that a describe is an outline plus an additional comment, and that an outline is more than naming. So I've got to get that answer in there to get my 1 mark for it. If I can think of anything extra to say about better ideas being generated in teams, I did notice something. I thought about staff feeling proud about what they've been able to think up and suggest. So that's my extra thing that I want to say. The staff's going to benefit, but because I've already mentioned my first big mark when I've introduced the better ideas topic, this pride aspect only needs to be a simple outline for my development mark. Up high, reminder, outline is more than naming. I'm then going on to my third and final answer that I thought up in the plan, and I know that if staff are working together, they share skills and learn from each other so that you have a multi-skilled, flexible workforce for the business. That is the first time I've mentioned sharing skills in my answer, so because it's the first time I've mentioned it, the whole thing needs to be a full-blown describe answer. Describe is obviously a full outline plus an additional comment, and an outline being more than naming. So once I've secured my 1 mark for fully describing, if I can think of anything else to say, I simply need a little development outline. So promotion prospects for staff because they've gained more skills from working with others than they originally had on their own. They're more desirable, more employable, so I can put that down and just get a little outline to gain 1 mark for my development. I've got another thing I can say there, that staff have got a better sense of job satisfaction, they'll be more likely to feel secure in their job, and all the rest of it. I don't need to mention anything else because it's about sharing skills and feeling proud. Simple outline for a development mark there. For every single point I want to earn, I have to check, am I making sure I'm mentioning business and staff at some point? I mean, for 6 marks, I could literally have business mentioned 5 times and staff only mentioned once. If I mention business only for all 6 answers, I will not get 6 marks. I'll get a maximum of 5 out of 6. This development mark planning technique can be used not just for discuss questions, it can also be used for describe, explain and justify answers, so that you're benefiting from your technique, so you're getting marks for writing less and for working less hard. Now, here's a wee extra note about development marks. A development mark, as we've said before, has to be the length of an outline, and an outline is more than naming. You can gain development marks with the following command words: discuss, describe, explain and justify. The information you give for development marks must be new, and this is a very, very common mistake that pupils do make. You don't get credit for simply repeating words from the previous answer that you've given. So here's an example for you from a sort of a previous discuss answer that might have been given, or a describe answer that might have been given. So here's the answer for 1 mark. Staff working together in teams feel a sense of camaraderie. This means they will work harder for each other and the team. This is good because the business benefits from increased productivity. So that's enough for 1 mark, because it's a newly introduced answer. It needs to be written out fully like that. Now, to develop this, you might want to say, well, if you've got increased productivity, this means business gets increased profit. However, you're not adding extra anything new here from just saying increased productivity as a repeat of the previous answer. So in essence, all you're mentioning is increased profit. So what I'm saying is you'd be at risk of getting no marks at all, even though it's a true fact and a good answer you've given. Nothing wrong with that, but you've not laid it out as a full outline in this case, because increased productivity is repeated from the previous answer, and the development answer is simply increased products, which is not increased profits rather, which is not an outline. Some caution with development marks. If your new introduced answer has not been fully described, you'll not be able to get the development mark that you're wanting to give after it. So the whole thing would have to be grouped together as one answer for 1 mark. Instead of you getting 2 marks that you should have got and that you deserve to get, you need to make sure your wording is carefully done. If your answer is a 2 mark question, where you get quite a few justify questions can be 2 marks and so on, you're not able to then try for a development mark, because the development mark is only coming from after you've given more than 1 answer. So you'd have to give a minimum of 2 answers of your own before you could try and develop one of them for 3 marks onwards. No development marks are available at all for outline, because an outline isn't a deep enough answer to draw anything else out from. There is very little point in trying for development marks with compare answers, because the layout for compare is so strict, it's really not very easy to do or practical to do. So just say to yourself, if I'm doing outline or compare, development marks are not possible, but every single other one, if it's 3 marks or more, definitely go for it. So, how to lay out your discuss answer after planning. So my jotted down plan could give potentially 10 marks. I only need 6 marks for this answer, so I'm giving myself plenty choice in my thought processes. So here's what it might look. This is not obviously what you would write out, but I'm just trying to talk you through and show you where I'm introducing a new topic. I need a full-blown describe, and there's my describe there. So from my open square bracket to my close square bracket, all of that is for 1 mark. And I need to do this every time I'm introducing a new answer or a new topic. If I can take a development from this big one here, then it doesn't need to be anything like that length, and that's why development marks are brilliant. So development mark next from that is simply an outline and answer in length. So let's just check back to this one, the previous one. We've named our answer, we've outlined it, which is more than naming, and then we've given an additional comment. That gets us only 1 mark for introducing our new topic. The development mark, which is saying something extra about our topic we just introduced, all we have to do is name the answer and give, more than naming. That's all outline is, more than naming. So the development answer is much shorter. Here's my next new topic being introduced, my second answer, which is better ideas being generated. So I've named my answer, I have then outlined my answer, and to get my 1 mark, which is equivalent to a describe, I have given my additional comment. This is quite a weak answer, and if you're talking about office work or something like that, it's not really a very strong answer. And to be honest, I might look at all the other choices I've got and say to myself, that's not a strong answer, beat the competition. I don't really like that one now that I'm looking back on it. But here's a development mark coming, and this is about the job satisfaction of the employee gets, and from making the good suggestions and coming up with good ideas and everything. So that just needs to be an outline, which is more than naming. There's another development mark. It's all kind of leading on to it. Staff being happy and not stressed means their attendance is going to be good. Just a simple little outline, more than naming. Here's something else, developing on from a development actually. So the employer gets staff with good attendance. That means the jobs will all get done and the deadlines have been met, giving them a good reputation. Here's another development mark from the previous stuff. The employer has low staff turnovers, they can cut recruitment costs. All of this coming from better ideas generated given happier staff in their work. Here's my third and final answer that I'm offering for my 6 marks. It's staff share skills with each other when they work in teams and learn from each other. So I've named my answer, I've outlined it, and then I have given my additional comment. 1 mark only for giving all that hard work, but I need to do that when I'm introducing a new answer. I can develop that, and I just need a simple outline. Staff become more skilled, we've got a better chance of promotion in the future. Now, this is not what you would write out. I've just tried to break it down to you to show that if this sort of blue highlighter pen is employee covered, the yellow highlighter pen is employer covered. So I'm answering my discuss question quite nicely. I'm showing the introduce new topic in red, where I need to give a full-blown describe. I'm introducing a development mark in this pink colour, where I just need a little outline. At the other end of it, I'm giving you name, outline, additional comment. I'm giving you outline. I'm showing you so that you can just sort of talk yourself through your own process. This is a sort of a photograph of me. I went and typed up the full answer. Obviously I wouldn't have put anything like this much, you only need 6 answers, but I've kind of laid it out to just say to you, I think it's quite nice to indent the development marks because it helps you count up how many marks you've given. I also think if you see the word justify or you see the word benefit, advantage, disadvantage, always use this phrase. This, you give a full outline first and then you go, this is good because, and then you give your additional comment. If it was a disadvantage, this is bad because. But you always start with a full outline no matter what your command word is. There is not a command word out there at Hire that will not start with a full outline. So you're outlining, then you're saying this is good because, and then you're giving a reason why it's a good idea. And then you can develop it. When you're introducing your new topic, at the margin, any developments would be indented. The next new topic at the margin, and any developments indented. But in all cases, the outline first, this is good because. Last one here, outline first, this is good because. And for every outline I'm given, for every development I'm given, say to yourself, have I named the answer, then said something extra about it more than naming? That's the test for an outline. Over here, I've just said, that enough here for 10 marks potentially, but only 3 answers have actually been offered. 7 of my marks here on this page have been gained from development marks of a previous answer, and development marks are so much easier to lay out than a full-blown describe. So I hope that's been of use to you, and good luck in your exams. Thank you.